Ellora is a World Heritage Site. The caves of Ellora are located at about 28 kilometers from Aurangabad. There are a total of 34 caves. Number 1 to 12 are Buddhist caves, then 13 to 29 are the Hindu caves, and the remaining are Jain caves. Thus, in Ellora, there are caves of three different religions. Buddhist caves are the oldest and they were constructed during 5th to 7th century AD. Caves of Ajanta are famous for their paintings, whereas the Ellora caves are famous for the sculptures as well as the architecture of the caves. The car park is near the cave 16. However, after parking, it might be good to start from cave number 1 and go in order. Cave number 10 is the only proper Chaitya hall at Ellora. This cave temple is dedicated to Vishwakarma, the architect for the gods. Vishwakarma is a Hindu god, but you can see in Mahayana system of Buddhism there has been a commingling of concepts. Cave 2 is a Chaitya hall with 12 massive columns which support the roof. The lion throne that holds the huge Buddha image is a symbol of the royal state. Cave 5 is the largest in the series, is a vihara 35 meters by 17 meters and has in addition two side recesses. 24 pillars hold the roof. The interior seems to indicate that it was used either as a room for guests or as a classroom. Cave numbers 11 and 12 are by far the most important in this group. They are large, three-story structures, alike in design and represent the peak of the earlier style at Ellora. Cave number 12 is the bigger of the two and more impressive. Known as Teen Thal, it is faced by an open court and one enters the masonry through a rock-hewn gateway. Here is the view looking in a northerly direction. This is impressive cave number 12. Most important in the Hindu cave series is the Kailasa Temple, which is the cave number 16. It is said that the Kailasa Temple was carved out top down, i.e., starting from the top and going down, and a huge amount of hill was excavated and the rock taken out to create this temple. Kailas Temple is undoubtedly India's most famous monument. Here is a rock cut architecture at the apex of technical skill. The Kailash Temple is built in shape of a chariot. The front portion is Sabha Mandap, followed by the Nandi Mandap, and then the main Shiva temple. In the Shiva temple, there is no statue, just the Shiva Lingam. The panel in front depicts Ramayana in 7 lines. First line shows Ram and Lakshman going to Vanvas. Second line shows nose of Shurpankha being cut. Third line shows Ravan abducting Sita or the Sita Haran scene. Fourth and fifth line shows the war between Vali and Sugriva. The sixth line shows Hanuman winding up his tail, and then later he is setting fire to Ravan's city of Lanka. Seventh line shows building of bridge using stones and defeat of Ravan. The left flank of the temple shows Shiv Puran and the right one shows Vishnu Puran. Front side of the temple now has a beautiful garden, and here you see a tree hit by lightning. Here you see the facade of the Kailash temple. Right side you see the avatars of Vishnu, Mohini, Matsya, Vaman, etc. You also see the statues of Agni and Vayu. Valmiki and Vyas, Ganga and Yamuna, etc. As you enter the temple, you see a statue of Nandi, and then when you go to the main temple, you see the Shivalinga. Kailas Temple is regarded as the greatest monolithic structure in the world. Kailash combines immensity with grace, energy, and superb genius. Its conception and planning are matched by the jewel like execution. Hundreds of architects and sculptors created this grandeur out of living rock is an example of inspired workmanship. It is estimated that the task of quarrying out 3 million cubic feet of rock must have occupied at least 100 years. The Kailash temple itself was constructed by King Krishna I of the Rashtrakut dynasty in 760 AD. The work began at the cliff top. A rectangular trench was cut downwards into the rock depths. Some 3 million cubic feet of rock has been chiseled out so that a great pit was formed, 31 meters deep, 31 meters long, and 47 meters wide. The enormous block left at the center was then chiseled through decades of time in the familiar shape of a Shiva temple, as complete in detail as the brick and mortar structures. While the temple grew out of shaping of the great mass of monolith, the sculptors were busy simultaneously adding profuse ornamentation, achieving a wonderful composition. The entire architecture is, in fact, a gigantic sculptural piece. The northern court is featured by a huge elephant which has lost his trunk, and also a victory pillar. Further up, a gallery of 12 panels offers renderings of Shiva legends or the Shiva Puran. Most of them depict the god with Parvati. The southern gallery shows the Vishnu Puran. For example, it shows Vishnu in man lion incarnation, Narsimha avatar, tearing with his claws the body of a demon king. The demon king was blessed with a boon from the creator which made him invulnerable to anyone in human or animal form. Drank with power, this he could challenge everybody, and the gods were finally fed up of him, and so that's why Vishnu took the form of a man lion to defeat him. Here you see the Shivalinga in the main temple. On the second floor, there are a series of 5 temples which were unfinished, and I was surprised to see the images of a man and woman in embrace and another sculpture showing them in a kissing pose. One can spend a good amount of time at Kailash Temple admiring the structures and the sculptures, and also trying to understand the significance of the sculptures and the stories they depict. After seeing the Kailash temple, we took an electric cart which took us to the Jain caves, which are located about 2 kilometers away. Cave numbers 30 to 34 represent the Jain architecture and sculptures. The quality of carving work is really outstanding. You can see the columns which support the roof are very ornate. Then the human form is also very nicely sculptured. You can see the images of Jain uh, prophets like Mahavira, Bahubali, and Parshvanath. On one of the panels, they have carved the images of 24 Tirthankars. The 34 caves at Ellora represent three great religions of India: Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. There are many monuments which represent either of these religions, but at one place having the representation of all three religions is truly unique. After seeing both Ajanta and Ellora, one realizes that the tourism potential in India is immense and has not been exploited to the full extent. I had visited Ajanta and Ellora about 60 years back. What I remember from that visit is only a few blurred images. So, this visit was truly enjoyable as well as enlightening.